Yeah, what's up, everyone? It's Courtney, Rollins, and Masner here, back here with another conversation. Masner is a part of the Aqua Team Rising Tides intern program. We don't coach. We don't even like set ourselves up to assume that we're like coaches or gurus or anything at all. In fact, we're constantly learning and growing. And Masner and other folks sometimes reach out to us. And Crystal is also on board. She won't be able to be here today, but and we figured one way we can, in that go-giver mindset, learn is by giving up. So we're sharing as much as we know and learning along the way. And it's been pretty cool because even with the videos we're putting out there, I'm already seeing like things that are working, things that are effective, and things that I want to actually change based on these conversations. So I appreciate you all being a part of the journey. Masner, I appreciate you being a part of the journey too. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing very well, man. How are you?
I cannot complain, man. I'm feeling pretty good. So today we're going to focus on, I guess, the fourth stage of the sales process, and that's uncovering pain. Last week or last time we were together, we talked about setting the rules and setting the expectations. So this week we're going to go into how do you seek and search for and uncover the pain and the motivation. So let me share my screen. Hopefully this will be helpful. Oops, I don't want to leave the meeting. Cancel. Share screen. All right, so I'm constantly working on it. We're trying to revise this this part. And folks like Todd Toback, amazing wholesaling coach who helps people get to the next level. He has an amazing sales process that we're actually considering taking his course and receiving some of his coaching. We're actually shopping around several coaches. We know that with coaching is going to accelerate our growth tremendously, but a lot of this stuff comes from just the YouTube videos and conversations that he has out there. Another great sales coach is Steve Trang. I'm sure folks who are on this have heard of Steve Trang as well, and he has an amazing program, and the material out there is pretty awesome. So that may be another one we check in, but we have to pull the trigger this week. So we're sitting down and vetting both of those sources. So anyways, uncovering pain, right? One thing that's sort of similar to uncovering pain, but I want us to remember is the metaphor of when we're going after these deals. And I texted to you last night as I heard it, but we really are, it's like similar to a dog that's got out of the fence or something. And if you notice, like if you, let me stop. I have somebody calling me. I don't know where they're calling me from. But I can't talk to you right now. But if you chase a dog, what's the dog gonna do? Run, right?
Right.
But it happens with my dog Chip. What I have to do, if he gets out and he takes off, I have to actually start running away from him or like going to my car and he comes. And it's the same thing with our sellers. Like our sellers, we're all conditioned and preconditioned to not want to be sold to, we want to buy. And so pulling away really helps them have clarity and understand, is this the choice they really want to make? And if it's not, it's great, it's cool, that's no problem, move on to the next. But if it is, sometimes pulling away gives them the that clarity of like, oh, wait a second, this is the deal I want to make. So some points I want to highlight is that buying is an emotional process, and we actually make choices based on our emotions, and then we rationalize it intellectually. And that's why we have to be appeal to our sellers' emotions and our buyers and just people in general. Again, we have that detached connection to the sale. So we're always pulling away. So we should never feel like, please, let me give you money to buy my property. It's more, hey, this is an opportunity for you, opportunity for us as well. And even when you're working with, like if you're raising money, right? Or if you're going out and shopping around a deal that you have and that you want to like stay in and you want to raise funds, that's the same approach. I don't think that you, or that we should approach it as please give us money, but hey, here's an opportunity. If you see the value, then you'll jump on board. If you don't, no problem. But I know that there's opportunity here, so I'll find someone who wants to take advantage of this opportunity. Just like we have opportunity to buy your property here, but we have to make a profit. We have to be able to we can do business, but I'm going to have to get this as a profit. If you can work with me, we can do something. If you can't, no problem, no harm, no foul. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense, because a lot of situations that I caught myself in the beginning of my wholesale career is that I was like low key trying to beg them to like oh, let
Me
me help
too.
you. Let me get a deal. Like I'm trying to get a deal.
Yeah.
But now it gets to the point after so much rejection, after so much, trials and tribulations, it gets to the point where it's like, okay, calm down. Remember, they low key need you because they're in that situation. So just
Right.
relax, be professional. No matter how much deals you have, you can have 0 deals. Be professional and just act like a consultant. Find out how you
That's
can
a
help
great
them.
point. It's a
And
great
then,
point because consultants are collaborative, and one of the highest forms of rapport is collaboration. Like we're working together to figure this out. And so our job is going to be that's a great transition to mine what that pain point is by asking that extra question. Like I come off very, very nice, but I need to get stronger at ruffling feathers and asking tough questions and asking that second or third question. And that's what we're, looking at today. So for instance, if we're talking about, if I ask the seller, hey, so if we go agree to terms, what timeline are you looking for? Or I'd say if we agree to terms, you probably want what the 3 or 4 months to be out, is that I always assume longer. And like, well, no, actually we need this done within 30 days. Okay, well, why is that? Well, we need to go ahead and move out so that we can, because I have a job coming up, a job posting coming up, and I need to be able to move by then. So being able to go that extra further. So what's that about, or why is that, or asking that next question will help us continue to uncover what the pains are, what their motivation or pain point are. This next section comes straight from Todd Toback. Somebody wants me bad.
could be a seller.
Right. Let me see if I can pause the recording. And is it paused? All right. I like calls like that telling me they got money for me. Yeah. So we had a closing, and I've been meaning to pick up the check. I like still picking up the actual physical checks. I just like having them and collecting them, but they're gonna have to wire them to us. I went out there this morning, and they had a comedy of errors, so no one was there. But it's all good. So they're gonna wire it. So that's a good. Yeah, I knew she was calling. Hey, I had to answer that. Sorry. But the next steps are like communication techniques or that you want to employ and practice, right? So there's the soft pass. Actually, let's come back to these before look at some of the like possible questions to find pain. And things like, so why do you want to sell your house? And they say, okay, well, we know we're looking to, our tenants are a pain in the butt and all, and we're ready to move on. So right there, that's already a good, strong motivation. But you can go even further. So what was that like? What's that experience? So you want them to be able to identify their pain, but also think about the impact of their pain, right? And we're not coming back immediately with, oh, great, well, here's the diagnosis, here's the pill for you. And that's what eventually we'll do. But we're really trying to mine the pain and help them remember why they're in this position in the first place and why they're seeking it. And one of the best things you can do to like mine the pain is, we can come back to these communication skills, is like reluctance or pull away. So this is the 5th or the 4th bullet. I should make them numbers. So the 4th, reluctance, like, all right, well, they just told you that they didn't want to deal with the realtor or real estate commission, and they hate realtors. Be like, well, why wouldn't you just sell it? Why don't you just list it for yourself? Do the repairs, fix it up, and sell it for yourself and get that top dollar. And you listen, and they're going to basically you're helping them convince you to sell, convince you to buy their property, I should say.
So
if we go, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, so like even in some situations, even after you see the property, you can just throw out a number that they might not even know, like, oh yeah, how about you fix it up, throw an extra, take out a loan, throw an extra 30 or 40,000 in repairs, in 6 to 8 months, you possibly resell it. And then you telling them how they can do it, but it's to them it sounds like, wow, I don't want to do all that.
There's a lot of steps, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. I dig that. Yes, exactly. Great technique. And I've actually heard you employ it on the phone. So that's awesome. The soft pass is ways to throw out. It's sort of like price conditioning, but it's ways to like get that price out there. Like, could you see yourself, doing like 170 to 180? I mean, I'm not gonna hold you to it, but could you see yourself doing that, or Weave or other investors, especially, you don't want to lie. So if you haven't bought it, you can look on the PropStream or MLS and see what people are cash buyers buying. Or if you have bought, you can say, Weave, bought similar properties in the neighborhood about 35,000, and you just hear what they say, and feel, oh heck no, that's nowhere near, oh yeah, okay, I got you. So where do you think you'd be at, or what are you comfortable, or where are you trying to, what are you looking for, Again, that's on those qualifications under how to get the price out of them, but it's definitely a communications technique, the soft pass. Now the reverse. Sometimes these sellers can cap you on your heels, asking you, who are you? What you gonna do with the property? Are you trying to wholesale it? Are you trying to do all this? And remember, whoever's asking the questions is controlling the conversation. That doesn't mean that you want to be talking. Matter of fact, you want to be talking way less. 15, 20% of the conversation should be you talking, and the other 85, 80 is the seller. But if a seller does ask you, questions and are trying to get on, you can do the reverse where you answer their question quickly, but then come back with an open-ended question or a probing question. And sometimes it can be questions that that find deal breakers, like, okay, so how long has your company been around? So, well, we've been around for the last year and a half or 2 years. Does or can I ask you, is that important to you, or is there a concern that you have, or what are you looking for when you work with someone? Well, I just want to make sure that I can have somebody I can trust. Okay, well, let me ask you this, Mr. Seller. What make you feel comfortable that you can trust somebody? What are you looking for? Well, if I had, a bunch of, if I had some reviews to take a look at or something like that, that would make me feel comfortable. Okay, well, we definitely can give you some share reviews with you. Is there anything else that you would that is your concern, or you can label it? Oh, it sounds like I can hear a little bit of hesitation in your voice. What's that all about, or what's going on? What are you thinking? Things you're. I'm going into like open-ended questions, but especially when they're like asking you tons of questions, you just reverse that and respond, but reverse with an open-ended question that steers you in the area you want to go.
Okay.
Those kind of bouncing back and forth. Make sure the questions that you ask are questions that you don't want to ask any questions that you don't, not necessarily you don't know the answer to, because you don't know the condition and stuff like that, but you aren't prepared to respond to, So yeah, so and also there's no need to answer any questions that they haven't asked you. Rattling off all your benefits and everything that you can do. I know that's kind of goes against what we've a lot of wholesalers are talking about, but there's no need to tell them that you can close fast if that's not even a pain point that they want to go at. That could be something that you can use later on to help them see the value that you're adding.
Okay. And then a question for you though. So like, say you're in contact with that seller, and it turns out to be something that won't turn out as a profitable wholesale, but could possibly turn out to another deal. Do you spend that time to bring that up, or do you sit back, run the numbers, and call back to bring that up, that second option?
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up. So I wouldn't use the R word, which is realtor. But what I would say is, hey, seller, it looks like we're not the buyers at this price for a cash sale. That sounds like that's not what you're looking for. But what I could do is I could get someone on our team come out there to evaluate the property and see what you might be able to get for with the listing. So instead of saying a realtor, I can get someone out there to evaluate the property. Someone on our evaluation team, you can say if you wanted to take a look at what you might be able to get if you put in the work and you listed it. And then you make that note in the outreach simply. And I know some really strong realtors that I would send that information to, or if you're doing it on your own, you would send all the information to. You still get all the notes and all the information because you're setting up that realtor to really be able to go in there and serve them, because they know the qualified CPR time, condition, price, reason for selling, and their timeline they're looking for. So yeah, great question. And there's ways that you can have a symbiotic or relationship with the realtor you're working with, where you can get percentage of the work through a joint venture agreement or whatever the laws of your state require.
Gotcha.
Yep. And so I love this number 3 that I'm trying to get better at: get recommitment or commitment to compress the timeline. So if we're going to do A, okay, let me just ask you, Mr. Seller, if we agree to do A, and we're going to do A, then what's next? Are we going to do business together? So if we agree to the terms, if I come out there, take a look at this property, are you ready to move forward today? Or are you just, are you more, just trying to get some numbers out there, basically tire kickers. You wouldn't say tire kickers, but you're just basically trying to set the field, or is this something you're ready to move forward with if you get all the terms you're looking for? Well, I'm ready to move forward. Okay, so when I come out there tomorrow, I'll take a look and we'll agree. If at the end, if we agree in terms, it's either yes or no, and that's perfectly okay. Cool. So giving permission to say no and getting a pre-commitment that, hey, if we do this, then we and all these are here, then this is the natural next step. And then, okay, so it looks like we checked it out. Looks like we're good on price. So, what's next? Right. So you're letting the seller tell you, okay, I guess get the paperwork to you. Give me the sign, give me whatever. And it's a great technique. I literally just used it before I got on the phone, and I sat with the seller. We got a property in Catonsville, so hopefully we'll be able to sell this contract.
Nice.
And I think I went over reluctance and price conditioning, but yeah. So this is an important stage: uncovering pain and motivation. You're constantly come back, and right before you close the deal, you want to throw away the deal again. That's literally what I just said earlier. It's okay, so right before you sign, so hey, you sure you don't want to just list this? There's not much work to be done. You put 3,000, 5,000. It really wasn't much work to be done in it. Well, why don't you just list yourself? And, oh man, that's why I want to send to you, because I don't feel like going through the time or this or that. If I paint it and then they don't like to paint all that stuff, I don't want to deal with it. I'd rather just send it off. I was like, okay, well, all right, well, that sounds like something we might be able to work with. We can do,
Right.
You're confident. I can buy your property, but I got to be able to make a profit and make it work. And you don't have to sell it to me. You sure this is something you want to do?
Okay.
Thank you.
So what if they ask you, this never happened to me before, but this is just worst case scenario. What if they ask you, like, how many deals have you gotten? Like, how many cash properties did you purchase before? Just stuff like that for somebody that hasn't gotten a lot of deals.
Right. Well, there's a couple of things. The truth is always helpful. Like, we're working together, so you can leverage our company's experience, even though we're really new. We're relatively new, but in the last 6 months, we've done a lot of volume. We've done over about 25, 27 deals. So folks I partner with, we've been pretty strong. But let me ask you this, Masner, is that something important to you, the amount of deals we've done, or why do you ask the question?
Oh no, I asked the question for like myself, so I don't want to scare the seller away. Like, oh,
also, I was role playing. My bad. I was role playing.
Oh.
That's what I was sorry about that.
I was
transitioning to role play, but I would ask.
That's smart.
I would ask them why. Yeah, I would answer.
What does that matter to you? Yeah,
that's reverse. I would answer quickly and then throw it back at them. Why is that?
Wow.
I try not to say why, so I'm trying to think of a better way of saying that. And if so is this, that sounds like is experience important to you, or what are you looking for to see that you're comfortable with working with me or with anyone out there?
That makes a lot of sense, because now you're reversing the question on low key.
Yep.
And having them thinking like, does that really matter right now?
Right.
Okay.
Or they may give you a legitimate great reason and like, okay, that's a great point, and here's how we can address that. Or it looks like, yeah, if that's what you need, we can't satisfy that. So, we don't have to do business together. There's plenty of people out there that can serve you, and there's plenty of people out there that we can serve. And if we don't fit, that's fine as well.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. All right. So, yeah, that's it for now, because I still got to watch those the videos that you sent from last night.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Touching up a little bit with that, and that's smooth. I'm ready to hit the phones today.
All right, well, let's do it, man. We're gonna train every day and make it happen. I'm gonna go ahead and pause because I do want to role play with you, but I'm gonna put that on just between you and me. But other than that, man, appreciate you being part of this journey. Again, if you are watching this video, please like and subscribe. All that good stuff helps us reach more people. Leave a comment, help us grow, help us learn. Watch Masner take off, watch me take off, and we're gonna do our thing. You got anything else you want to say, brother?
Nah, just stay tuned, guys. Keep watching, because I'm telling you, a couple months from now, you're gonna be like, wow.
Yeah, that brother right there. Both, yeah. Rising tides lifts all sails. Cheers.
Let's get it.
Heck yeah.